Presented by Toyota. Rain this morning delayed the morning warm-up for the Kart FedEx Championship Series. They've just completed that, and it looks like we are going to have a wonderful afternoon. Any sign of rain has completely gone away. The sun has broken through. It shines down upon us, and I'll tell you what, it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful afternoon.
Let's check out our race analysis for this event today. You see the distance, the true distance of the oval. 50 laps is our race distance. Townsend Bell averaging nearly 187 miles per hour in these Indy Lights cars. The race record last year, Scott Dixon, who now drives in the Kart FedEx Championship Series, averaged nearly 184 miles per hour as they went without a yellow in just scintillating competition. This is the 5th year for the Lights to run here on this particular oval.
I just want to talk about the fact that the main championship has been decided. Townsend Bell has won that, but there are other things at stake. For example, between Damian Faulkner and Dan Weldon, those two guys are duking it out for both Rookie of the Year and second place in the standings. They're also duking it out for the Speedway Challenge as well to determine who was the best on the ovals this year. Throw in one last thing, Damian, with a good finish, could cinch up what's called the Nations Cup as well. So there's other things at stake. Townsend may have won the championship, but there's bragging rights and money that can come out of this.
Boy, it's great to see the sun now shining, and you can see shadows down there. You can see a tremendous crowd on hand here to watch this big doubleheader today at California Speedway. 16 years of Dayton Indy Lights racing action, about to come to what we hope will be a safe and dramatic conclusion. Glad to have you along for the ride. Gary Gerald, Jan Beekes, and Rick DeBrule. Jim O'Hannison, the starter for the Indy Lights Series, watching them now. A little break in formation as they come toward the line, and no green is displayed. It is a yellow flag start to this event, so they'll realign and try to come back around in better position as they anticipate the charge to turn number 1. It's a limited field, as you can see, but in the past, that has not made any difference on the super speedways. As Jan mentioned, drafting is the name of the game. And here comes that little swarm of bumblebees down the front straightaway, banked at 11 degrees, and O'Hannison has the green flag out, and we are underway. Townsend Bell will take them toward turn number 1, and the dicing and the sorting now begins in earnest.
Damian Faulkner did actually kind of slide out of his spot again, but I think that time he may have caught the green flag along with it. Again, once these cars get their momentum going, like we said, Gary, it's going to be all about drafting, and you can see it already mid-pack.
Boy, look at the number 1 car of Dan Weldon, a 2-time winner this year. He's tucked right in immediately behind Townsend Bell after a fine start, and about 1.5 car lengths separate them for the moment.
I want to talk about Townsend Bell. I was talking to him before the race, but the question of how much is at stake here? I mean, face it, you've already won the championship. It looks like he probably has a champ car ride secured for next year, and he said, you know what? He said, I really want to win this one. I have yet to win on a super speedway. I want to show that I can do it.
3 or 4 hours ago, you wouldn't be saying things like that, but that's the humor of the inside. Oh, look at this. Derek Higgins with a run on the outside line. 3 wide, they come into the corner. Now 2 wide.
Well, what's happening here, Gary, these are the group that have to work together. If they start fighting amongst themselves, they're not helping each other. The more that they do this, they will lose touch with the leaders. So I think this is a bit of frustration we're seeing at guys that want to not let the leaders get away.
Boy, they fanned out. They're 4 wide for a moment.
Yeah.
Look at that. Matt Halliday, a number 21 at the left edge of the screen in blue and white, forges to the head of that particular group.
And Gary, this strategy of Dan Weldon to stay so close behind Townsend Bell is working. You look here, just wait for the cars to come off at turn 3. They're pulling away from this next group. Now that group should be faster. They have 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, the rest of the field are together here, 5 in particular. Now, 5 cars are faster than 2, but they're not helping each other. See right here, they get spread out. If you could get 5 cars and 5 drivers to work with each other and kind of leapfrog, they could catch the leader, but they're not doing it.
Is that a symbol, perhaps, of the inexperience of young drivers trying to make their way up through the ranks in open-wheel racing?
I believe so. I mean, I think that they're in desperation mode. They have now seen that the leaders are pulling away, and they're thinking, well, you know, no one else is making it happen. I need to. But you know what? In this particular case, They need to be courteous, and they need to work together, and sometimes that doesn't go together with Indy Lights and super speedway racing.
So this is the battle for third on back, and they're right now 4 seconds behind Bell and Weldon, who have managed to pull away. It's a great battle here with Halliday and Higgins now side by side, and Mario Dominguez closing in. Rolando Quintanilla, by the way, has fallen all the way to the back of this group. That's how quickly things changed after he started in the front row. The teams have been advised, we are told, that this has now become a time-certain race because of the compressed schedule and the urgency of getting to the Kart FedEx Series Championship race. And so this will either be 50 laps or 1:05 local time, whichever comes first. Here's Rudy Hunko, who figures in this mix.
And see, you can tell by that he had to lift dramatically. And when you hear about guys having trouble with the handling of the car, that's handling in the draft. In other words, these cars will run by themselves flat out easily. But what happens is some of these cars are tuned aerodynamically to run in groups, and I can tell by Rudy Hunko and how much he's lifting out of the throttle, his is not set up that way.
Try to give you an idea here now of the lead pack and how far it is back. There you see them coming into the turn as Bell and Weldon disappear.
And even the line, Gary, even the line is so much different. You know, for Townsend Bell and Dan Weldon, they come off that third corner and they're on the white line, and it's nice and tidy and everything is smooth, and then all of a sudden you see this group and they're all over the place.
Weldon showing remarkable patience as he's been glued right on the backside of Townsend Bell from the very start. And notice now we've got the clock counting down to the checkered flag now rather than the number of laps left. There are 14 laps scheduled, but the clock is now all important in Southern California.
And I disagree with John Fogerty. I think that Dan Weldon is just hanging back there by virtue of the fact that he's in the draft of Townsend Bell. I don't know, well, none of us knew, except for Dan Weldon, that he has a fast enough car to draft by to take the win. But I think when you're leading, you don't give it up. You never give it up. You stay there and let the other guy do the hard work.
And think about Scott Dixon last year. Dixon's the guy who controlled the whole race. Townsend Bell was right there, tried to get by in the last lap and couldn't do it. Maybe Townsend Bell's thinking about how Scott Dixon won this race.
We're at the 2-minute mark on a time-compressed day because of weather problems early, and of course we've lost daylight savings time. Look at Townsend way high. Opened the door, but no. Dan Weldon couldn't take advantage.
Something's going on here, Gary. That is Townsend Bell trying things. Is he wanting to let Dan Weldon through? Did he go high and lift off to see if Dan Weldon would take it? They are sizing each other up right now as we come to 1 minute 30 seconds to go. This is going to be awesome.
Well, the lap times here are right just under 40 seconds, about 39 seconds a lap. So we're inside a minute and a half, so we've only got a couple of more laps going. And so this is important for the teams to communicate the time factor to the drivers so that they don't mistime their move in a bid for the checkered flag. I'm sure that they will see a white flag as an indication of 2 miles or 1 lap to go.
You can see that that time we did not see that similar type of move for Townsend Bell. So I think he may have been opening the door for Dan Weldon, and Weldon didn't take it. And I wouldn't either.
So he just threw the bait out there, and
sure.
Weldon said, not going to do it. All right, we're going to keep an eye down here in the flag stand, looking at his watch, Jim Anderson. They went through. There was no white flag, so we know we're going to get 2 more laps here.
Do you want to lead the last lap?
They're asking Townsend, do you want to lead the last lap?
Keeping an eye on the clock.
I didn't say, do you want to finish second? Do you want to lead the last lap?
Entering turn 3, coming to 4. The starter now has the white flag in his hand, so here comes the sprint.
I thought that was Townsend's response, saying that if I lead the last lap, I'll finish second.
Well, he's leading the last lap. They go into turn number 1. Less than 2 miles to go. Weldon has been waiting for this moment all afternoon long. Can he capitalize? Dan Weldon trying to get the 2nd spot in the season-ending championship points, would like to put his name in the record books as the man who wins the last ever Indy Lights event. Less than a half lap to go. Weldon goes to the outside. Bell protecting the low line. They're alongside each other as they enter the turn. Only now less than a half lap to go, and only a matter of feet separating 1st and 2nd place.
Get back in the draft quick and then make a slingshot.
Bell hangs on. Townsend Bell has done it again. Townsend Bell gets the victory. Weldon gets second. Now let's drop back and watch for this race for third place and see if Matt Halliday can hang on. Or who is it going to be? There are 5 cars right there. Mario Dominguez in red and white. Here comes Higgins down inside. Whoa. Higgins below the line. You call it. I don't have a clue who ends up in third place. It may have been Halliday. And Higgins, of course, may face disciplinary action if the stewards believe that he got all 4 wheels below the white line. The stalwarts in this series rewarded again as we go back on and look at this wild finish for third.
And we see on the low side, Derek Higgins.
My goodness. Here's your photo finish camera. And it's the line to the left that is the deciding line where the orange cone is. Wow. Now, you talk about being close. What is it, maybe 3 inches separating?
And see, there's only 2 wheels for Higgins underneath the white line. He should be okay with that one. But I think as far as the victor, as far as what happened to Dan Weldon, he gave it a good shot, but I think he popped out, Gary, a little too early.
A little too soon?
I think he should have waited and made that slingshot just before the finish line.
Well, Brian Herta, back in 1993, I believe it was, the last American to become a champion prior to Townsend Bell this year in this series, won 8 events. And Bell has managed to tie him with that distinction, or with his 6th win, I should say, on this day. So a couple of notable milestones achieved for Townsend Bell. The official margin of victory right now is being shown as 51 thousandths of a second, Bell over Weldon. And here now are your Bosch Platinum +4 Speedway Challenge points. And Dan Weldon, while he didn't get the win here today, picks up a $10,000 check for winning, and he is also, of course, the Rookie of the Year. So those are the final standings in that particular bonus department. And Weldon will also prevail in the number 2 spot in the overall championship points behind this man. Well, Townsend Bell being escorted by his direct team for Doricott Racing. We'll hear from him in victory. So the curtain has come down on Indy Lights Racing. What a great series it's been. What a great battle we've seen in a couple of areas today. Bell and Weldon battling for first and second, and then Halliday holding off by a fingernail. Higgins and Dominguez in the race for that 3rd spot on the podium. Well, let's go down to Rick DeBrule, who's alongside Townsend Bell.
Well, Townsend Bell, we were talking before this race about how important this was. I was saying, is this a big deal? You've already got your championship, and you were saying, I want a super speedway. Congratulations.
You got it. I mean, it's what a difference a year makes. Last year, the 3 races we had in California were our most disappointing ones of the season. This year, we've won all 3 of them. So it's great to have all the crowd out here. We got to run in front of the crowd that was showing up for the Champ Car race, and I had a pretty easy day, to be quite honest. Just sat out front, and everybody was following me.
Let's talk about that last lap. Dan Weldon tried to make a run at you.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be tough. We had a pretty good car on our own, and without any traffic behind him, he needed somebody to push him along. So I kind of messed with him a little bit there on the last couple laps just to keep it interesting, but we had a great car. It was a really easy day. Wish they were all like this.
Townsend Bell's the winner. Let's give him the trophy. Townsend Bell here at California Speedway.
Oh, and a beauty it is. And don't you I love Townsend Bell. I just wanted to mess with him a little bit there in the last couple of laps. Here are the final 2001 championship point standings for the Dayton Indy Lights Series, and 44 back. Dan Weldon finishes up in second, and he has a nice little 8-point margin over Damian Faulkner, followed by Mario Dominguez and Derek Higgins through the top 5.
The guy who finished second, Dan Weldon, let's talk about the last lap. Did you go too soon, or did you just not have enough?
I'm not sure what I did. Sometimes a plan comes together, and sometimes it doesn't. At Rhode Atlanta, it came together, and it came together. Here, it didn't. I pulled out after getting a run up on him, and I thought it would be enough with the banking to carry me through, but it was not even close, so I completely messed that up myself. But the Pac West team have done a fantastic job, along with Gemstar Communications and Seapoint. I'm proud of the guys, and it's good to come second in the championship, I suppose.
I was going to say, you may not have won the race, but you got second in the championship. You got the Rookie of the Year. You won the Speedway Challenge. Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I think the team deserve better than that. So it's a shame we can't come back next year, because I think we'd pretty much have it. But we'll see. We'll see what comes along.
Wait to see where Dan Weldon ends up.
Very talented young man. He's certainly going to be making a lot more laps in somebody's series in open wheel competition, and he'll represent him and his team very, very nicely. Coming up next, the 500 presented by Toyota. Great crowd on hand here in Southern California.